How does mental health affect you? This podcast is sponsored by my 8th grade culminating task, Human Intelligence. We learned about peer pressure, the teen brain, mental health, and etc. Mental health really stood out to me. To the teen brain, most ignore their problems due to puberty, or even anyone at any age would ignore their mental health. So why do you have to care? In today's podcast, I will be talking about recognizing your mental health and whether there are any issues going on. This podcast is supposed to welcome you, not exclude you. So further ado, let's get into it. Hello, my name is Tatiana Rodriguez, and in today's podcast, I will be talking about mental health. What is mental health exactly? Great question. According to CDC Mental Health, it includes our emotional, physiological, and social well-being. It affects how we think, feel, and act. I still really don't get it. Well, after this podcast, you'll definitely understand. Why is mental health so important? Mental health and physical health is overall important. Like, depression can increase the risk of having diabetes or heart diseases. Even chronic conditions can have a risk of mental illness. It is important to learn that mental health can take a toll on anyone. For example, someone could be happy but depressed. Even though people may not see what they're going through, people can get really good at hiding it. Wow, I never really thought about that. Mental health can change over time as well. Like a child's mental health could be perfectly fine, but as they get older, it could change, even as an adult as well. Did you know more than 1 in 5 adults in the US struggle with mental illness? And even over 1 in 5 teens are struggling with mental illness as well. I guess everyone goes through something. I know some parents may think that something has caused their child to go through what they're going through, but there is no such thing as a cause of mental illness. They can't blame themselves as well. But there are things that can actually increase the struggle of mental illness. There can be a history of abuse, chronic or mental illnesses, uses of alcohol and drugs, and feeling lonely or being isolated. For disclosure, there can be different types of mental illnesses and disorders. It means mental illnesses can come and go. For example, I struggle with depression. There are times when I'm happy and there are times when I feel alone. It's something I've struggled with for the past 4 years. There were times when I pushed people away because I felt that people didn't want me to be around, or that people who loved me wouldn't be there for me. It's one of the many things I struggle with. It isn't funny or something to joke about. These are one of the many things that people truly struggle with. Mental health is important for people to notice because of how effective it can be in one's life. Now that all has been said, I'd like to thank you for listening to this podcast. Learning or finding out more about mental health is important. You can find more on mental health on the CDC website. It is also how I got most information. I'm Tatiana, and I'll see you on the next podcast.